Hi, this is Guitarist Denis Taaffe, and I'm in my home studio, and I want to welcome you to the making of my 281st album called Modern Rock Guitar Volume 281, Rapid Transit. And for those who aren't familiar with my music or approach to music, basically I play guitar and then use guitar loops done on the fly. And what that means is I've got a pedal board and I start playing, and the pedal board will record part of what I'm playing and start to loop it back. And then from there I can go on and come up with other ideas and loop those, creating layers, right, of guitar sounds. And then I also emulate bass on guitar. And the way I do that is I use pitch shifters, and I play the bass part on the guitar and then lower it an octave to get that low, deep sound, and then I loop that as well. And all my music is improvised on the spot, meaning there's no worked out parts, where you're rewinding and recording and so on. I mean, it's just come up with an idea, I listen to the ideas I'm playing, and think, okay, well, what would work well with that, and come up with ideas. And in that way, you can steer what direction, musical direction, the track goes in. Now, sometimes you can fall flat on your face, especially when you make a mistake and start looping it and it keeps coming back. But other times, it works really well to where you're not even thinking about it, and that's where you can really capture some magical moments musically. That's part of the reason why I do so many albums, because I'm always discovering new, musical moments that I really like, that I would have never thought of any other way. Okay. And the last album I did, I was using Albion amps and created some new sounds. And that's always an inspiration for me. I always try to do something different from album to album and try to grow musically, and it's no different here. And by this time I was really inspired. I just gotten done with 280, which is so effortless that I continued doing that, coming up with sounds, and this is the same kind of thing. In a sense, it was really effortless to make as far as musical ideas and inspiration. And I would create new sounds right on the spot and say, hey, this sounds neat, let's make a track of that and see where it goes or where it takes you musically. And so, real quick, I'll talk about the album cover. Obviously, it's a subway tunnel with people, and all the people were kind of instead of real sharp, picture kind of blurry. So it was fun for me to put my face in, and it really looks a little bit like I was there. And then I added some guitars and things. Anyway, just a kind of fun album, and also it shows that it's a guitar album. And as I've mentioned many times, when I was younger, it was really hard to see if an album was a guitar album or not. If it just has a guy's name, I didn't know if it was a guitar album or not. So here you can pretty much see that it's a guitar album. Okay. And here it's 7 tracks. It's 52 minutes. I'm very pleased with it as well. And it was really, kind of effortless there musically. Some albums are very difficult to do. Whereas this one, just the sounds really inspired me, and those are usually the best albums, at least for me. Okay, so let's go through it track by track, and as I recall, it's only 7 tracks, and 2 of the tracks are over 10 minutes. One's 13 minutes, which is really long. Okay, and let's begin with the first track called Commute Part 1. And there is a Part 2 on the album as well. But let's say, here we go, Commute Part 1, and it's 4 minutes 37 seconds. And here you can see right away I've used a new sound I hadn't used before. And it's kind of this phasey sound, again created by the Eventide H9 Max pedal. Definitely a sound I hadn't really used before. And so there's the basis of what I'm working off of, what was right there. So let's fast forward it to the 3-minute 14 mark. Okay. So I've added another guitar part there. Kind of an eerie sound. Okay. 3:58 mark, which is almost the end here. So kind of a strange track, but it really sets the mood for the rest of the album. But it's kind of an odd track. Definitely. Okay. Now let's go to track 2, called Underground. And this is a long track, 10 minutes 55 seconds. Ah, yes. And remember, this is a swelling chords where you play a chord with the volume down and you don't hear the pick noise, and then you turn up the volume. I usually do that with my pinky, right? And it sounds like a keyboard type of thing. And unfortunately my guitar has a scratchy volume pot, and I have to replace, because it's when I do that it gives you a scratchy tone. However, what I did, I remember before this track, I moved it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to try to get rid of that scratchy part, and it worked temporarily, at least enough for this track. And this track I really like it. It was originally called Dragon, but now it's called Underground. And it's 10 minutes 55 seconds, and it really develops. Okay. And very much influenced by Tangerine Dream, to be sure. But here we go. Yeah, I really love that. There's that swell. And you can still hear the scratchiness a little bit once in a while. And I could have used some additional noise reduction, but a lot of it has to do with that pot, potentiometer, the volume knob, being kind of scratchy. But I will get that fixed eventually. There we go. Now that bass sound is a different bass sound than I'm used to using, as I recall. So here's building up the track. Okay, so let's fast forward that to the 5-minute 40 mark. And here I'm using some new sounds too on one of the guitar parts here. Of course, there's a pattern playing. There, I don't know if you can hear that. It's kind of a reverse reverb, and so the fills sound like they're way in the background. It gives you that kind of a mysterious mood, if you like. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and let's fast forward that to the 9-10 mark. There, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's kind of a swelled part. I don't know how to describe it. Let me see if I can find a place where you can hear it better. Maybe here. Almost sounds like a wind type thing. You hear it? That's a new sound too. It's a very strange sound. Okay, anyway, I really like that track. Develops was great when you're driving as well. Okay, now number 3, Designated Lines. And this track is 13 minutes and 37 seconds. And it's probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. And really a culmination of what I'm trying to go for with this style of music. Yeah, I ended up really liking this track. It develops really well, as I recall. Okay, let's take a listen to that. Yeah. So here's just the starting kind of pattern playing. Not quite, though. Pretty simple beginnings. But that's the basis of the entire track, is right here. Okay, and let's fast forward 5-minute mark. Okay, so here I've added bass, added several different patterns. I just love this kind of guitar playing right here, this kind of sounds. And I would definitely take this over any kind of, guitar solo kind of thing. Just, to me, it's much more musical. And I made this change starting with album 200. And 200 is when I got to Albion amps. So they really changed my style. And I decided I'm just going to do music that I like for myself. I hope other people will like it, but for me, it's definitely the kind of music that I like, and I very much like this style, so I don't regret it at all. Okay, let's fast forward it to the 8-minute mark. Okay. Let's try that. Alright. And 11-minute mark. Developing different ideas on the guitar. There's some swell guitar, pretty subtle. Yeah, and I learned on that backwards thing, it has to be subtle. If you do it too much, it kind of takes over the track. Okay, let's move on to track 4, called Monorail. And this track is 9 minutes and 30 seconds long. Let's take a listen to that. This is a new guitar sound as well. And there's a slight pitch shift in there, very, very subtle. This is kind of that drone with some harmonics. So I haven't looped anything yet. So here I'm really developing, I'm listening to what it is I'm playing and coming up with ideas like the harmonics and things and see where it takes me. And there I started looping it. You could hear that little shift in rhythm, and that's the loop coming in. Okay, let's fast forward it. 5-minute mark. 5:19. There's that layer of backwards guitar. You can hear it. Kind of subtle. Because as I said, if we play it too much, it'll take over the track. Fast forward, 8:22. I love that atmosphere, the mood it creates. Really one of my favorites. It's a really cool track, I think. Okay, number 5, Magnetic Levitation. Wow. And it's 8 minutes and 48 seconds, a little shorter than the last one. Still a pretty long track. And let's hear what that one sounds like. Okay, and here I remember for this one I just did a swell of a chord and then looped it. I thought, okay, well, where could that go? So I added this bass line. Kind of a jumpy bass line, and loop that, and then put some clean guitar over it. And they're kind of a triads, Let's go to the 5:59 mark. Pattern playing's taking over. And there's several different patterns all going at once. Now, track 6, Commute Part 2. And this is a continuation of the very first track on the album. So let's hear where that one goes. And you'll recognize that sound from the first track. It's just a neat kind of guitar sound. And it's a short track, it's 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Let's go to the 2:44 mark. And notice there's a real subtle lower guitar sound playing. You really have to listen for it though. Hear that? That's the scratchiness from the volume pot. I'm trying to swell those notes at the end, which give it a nice mood. I'll be really happy when I get that fixed, because using swells in that manner where you use the pinky as you're playing, you can swell some notes and not swell others. And it really became a style for me. I keep wearing those tubes out though. It's kind of like using a volume pedal, if you like. You know, where you're going, but it's much faster than that because you're just using your pinky to turn the knob as you're playing, and it works really well. Okay. Now the last track was just for fun. It's super short, just to end the album. Plus the truth is I wanted 7 tracks instead of 6. But also it uses some kind of zany sounds. You know, sounds I created that I don't plan on using very often. And so you hear it here. It's super short, but it has a very strange kind of guitar sound. Right here, this kind of sounds like wind or something. Oh, by the way, the track is called Rubber Tires. And those rubber tires are what those subway cars use, you know. I remember in France, the metro had those rubber tires. While it's so short, it's only 44 seconds long, it's one of my preferred tracks on the album, believe it or not. Just because it's unusual, you know, the sounds I was using, and it worked out quite well to close the album. So there it is. That is Modern Rock Guitar, Volume 281, Rapid Transit. I'm very pleased with this album as well. It's 52 minutes and 3 seconds. It's 7 tracks. And I think they're all very solid tracks. Definitely. And when you hear them all in their entirety, it's really pleasing to the ear. You know, there's thing I could put on this album at night and fall asleep to it and that kind of thing. Yeah, I can't say that about some of my earlier albums, you know. It's definitely a lot softer sound. And that's where those Albion amps came into the picture. And I'm glad with the new sounds I had tried on this album as well. Man, I have a lot more ideas, though, to pursue, you know. I also have some effect pedals I haven't even plugged in yet to try, and some other musical ideas as well. But this is a very solid album. I'm very pleased with it. I think the introductory track, I could have probably done more with it. But I was just enjoying the new sound, that kind of filtered sound I don't use very often at all, and had just created, so it was kind of fun to use, and I wanted to hear it clearly. All right, see you next time. Bye.